change in output divided by change in labor, right? So we call this property in which we see that by adding one worker, total output is increasing, but at decreasing rate. And we call this property diminishing marginal product of labor. And what are the reasons? Because as more and more workers are hired, each additional worker contributes less to the production than prior one. So this property is called diminishing marginal product. Why? Because our capital is fixed, our machinery is fixed. Tools to produce more, the tools are fixed, all right? For plant is fixed. So in that case, the overall production increases, but at decreasing rate with the increase in every additional worker. So diminishing marginal product refers to the property whereby marginal product of an input declines as the quantity of input increases. So we talked about this in our chapter 11, right? The cost of production in which we talk about the marginal cost, the cost curve structure, right? So we also talk the diminishing marginal product property over there. So the properties, you can see that. So it's not like increasing, it's not a linear relationship. So you employ more workers, more quantity of labor is there. No. If you employ more workers, the total output increases, but at decreasing rate. So here is a managerial decision for your business if you are doing your business, if you are working for someone else. So remember, you need to hire how many people? So these are the number of workers, right? Apple pickers. How many apple pickers you need to hire? So you see, if we hire the sixth one, maybe the addition is just becoming a horizontal rate. So which means hiring more person gonna leave no increase in total production, or maybe zero increase in marginal, zero diminishing marginal product. So you stop hiring sixth worker or seventh worker. So we'll talk about how many workers we need to hire, right? So remember, in our previous market structure, we talk about how much quantity, the final product we need to produce. But now we are talking about the factor of production, right? How many workers we need to employ, how many capital we need to, how many machinery, right? We need to employ so that our profit is maximized. So in this, because these are the factor of production. So what do we mean by the maximization of profit? Minimization of cost, right? So now the value of marginal product of labor is equal to marginal product of labor multiplied by output price of final good, the price of apple per bushel, how much you are paying for per bushel of apple. What is the market rate? Everyone is paying, for example, $10 a bushel, right? So if you multiply each worker that is hiring, you are hiring their value, their marginal product, because these are in quantities. You multiply it with the price that everyone is paying for per unit of bushel. So it means this is the value of marginal product of labor. All right? Guys, you understand? Okay.
Yes.
Good.
Yes. Okay.
So aren't we just saying that we are doing the same MC is equal to MR? because MC is the cost, marginal cost, and this is marginal product of labor. In quantities, you just multiply it by price. So this will become marginal revenue or marginal cost. Sorry, marginal revenue. My bad. Marginal revenue. Because one labor is giving you $1,000 worth of apple. Second, when you apply, he is giving you $800 worth of apples. Third worker is giving you 600 worth of apple in the market. So this is related to MR, but MR is for final product, but we are talking about the labors. So we don't call it MR here. We call it value of marginal product of labor. Value, right? Now, the value of marginal product of labor known as the marginal revenue product, which is measured in dollars, which is of the labors, right? It diminishes as the worker rises because the market price of the good is constant. Now, whichever market structure you are in, either you are in duopoly, oligopoly, perfect competition, you see the market price. Multiply by the number of units the workers are producing. It gives you the value of marginal product, the benefit that worker is giving you, right? And how much is the wage, which is the cost. Isn't it MC is equal to MR? The same concept, but with different name. So value of marginal product of labor is equal to the wage, because wage is fixed in the market, per hour rate is fixed, all right? So to maximize profit, the competitive profit maximizing firm hires worker up to the point where the value of marginal product of labor equals to wage. So the value of marginal product curve is the labor demand curve for a competitive profit maximizing firm. So if you see that here, what is the wages? Every worker is minimum paid $500. So you see the $500 is here. So if you see what is the managerial implication we talked about in our market structures. If MC greater than, if MR greater than MC, employ or produce more, right? The same logic is here as well. If value of marginal product of labor is greater than the wages, or the benefit coming to the factory is greater than its wages, it means this person is giving you profit, retain that worker. You hire another worker, additional worker, he is giving you 80, which means he is giving you 800 benefit and you are paying him 500. So total benefit is 300. Retain it. So overall you retain 2 workers. And now if you apply the third one is giving you 600 benefit and you are paying him 500 benefit, about 500 cost. So he's giving, and you are saving, or you're saving for that third labor is 100. If you employ fourth one, you see, fourth one is giving you the worth of 400 benefit and you are paying him 500. So here you see the profit, the marginal profit is negative, right? So you employ until value of marginal product of labor is equal to wage. So, but labor cannot be divided into 2.5 because a man either is a person, or either is a full person, or either there is no person. So these are the binary numbers, because you cannot divide a labor to 2.5 or 1.5. So you will stop hiring on 3 workers. Guys, you understand? Venetia, Oliver, Nicholas.
Yes.
Marco, Pavarun, Priscillo,
Yes.
Nana.
Yes.
Okay, good, good.
Yes.
So that's a very nice case. So two sides of the same coin, which I already talked about that, and I already discussed the two sides of the same coin, the production function. So if you want to increase your further, concepts and discussion, go to the page 399 of the book chapter, and you'll find over there. Now, like in our demand and supply, we talked about the shift. We talked about here as well. So what causes labor demand curve to shift? The output price, technical changes, and supply of other factors. So remember, what causes shift? The price of the product. So recall our discussion, demand and supply. If the change in quantity demanded is due to price, then that is called movement. If change in quantity is due to other factor, so here the price is called wages, right? If change in quantity demanded for labor is due to other factor, not its own price, which is labor wages, then we call this, there is a shift. So you see, output price of the final good, not the wages increases. The price of apple increases, per kg apple increases, right? So demand, so the apple producers, right, they will hire more workers. When demand for workers increases, their wages start increases. All right, so that's a shift. Technological changes. Of course, technological changes always causes increase in the demand for labor, but specialized labor, not the ordinary labor. But it depends on question as well. If you bought a machine, right, who can save you, so machine prices, and the price of machine start rises, or rental value of the machine rises. So it's also shift the demand for labor, supply of other factors. So the quantity of one factor of production can affect the marginal product of other factor. Like I told you here, if you buy machinery, robotics, or to pluck, the apples, to pick the apples, so in that case, the supply of labor decreases. But on the other hand, supply of capital increases. Sorry, demand for capital increases. So not only what we have learned here, not only the demand for factors of production are derived demand, but their demands also depends among each other as well. All right, fall in the supply of ladder will reduce the marginal product of apple pickers, so reduces the quantity of apple pickers.